But so this is a, I don't know, hell, it's an 18 or something like that Chevy. And was brought here for that noise, and I'm sure somebody's going to know what that noise is right away. But we heard a little bit ago that it almost sounded like a lifter roller skidding over the cam. And we've seen that before on the Ford 6 liters because they're pretty well known for that. And we've got some Lucas like break-in additive. It's a zinc additive that we've seen make a big difference in the 6 liters. Not that it fixes anything, but it helped it. Because modern oils are not very good because of EPA requirements and everything. And yeah, that balancer is wobbly. So I'm told. I guess that's fairly common for these. But yeah, I guess if you want to show this. This is the oil additive that we use. We use it as like we use it each and every oil change on some of our vehicles because basically all of our vehicles, because our vehicles don't have catalytic converters or DPFs or any of that bullshit. You don't want to use this on anything that has emissions on it. But I'm very, very curious to know what this is going to do here. And so while this thing is running, we're going to pour in a little bit of this here and see if we notice any difference in that sound. So, okay, so the whole thing is the oil filler. And so I think I'll put a touch more in. And so this will like clog up the catalytic converter and shit, but we're not concerned about it because it's going to go in for repair to deal with whatever that noise is to the Chevy dealer, and we'll just tell them change the oil and shit.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like not rotating assembly, but it sounds, and it is related to engine RPM, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want to. Hopefully that comes through on there.
Well, and speaking of being related to engine RPM, to me that sounds like the frequency that the cam would be turning.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what the crank is turning.
Yeah. I would agree. Now, hearing that. And this has changed since you first listened to this the other day. And
yeah, this has gotten about twice as bad since I listened to it the other day. I'm just thinking though, we could pause the video and you could run it, rip it down at the end of the road and back, and
came up to like 80, revving it up and getting on it. So.
And so, how high did you rev it?
Up to like 55 because I wanted to see.
Fucking giving her wet fur.
Well, I didn't want to go on like fucking 80 down Huntington, but I got on and then got on the brakes, but.
Yeah. That is better, but it's still shaking around.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course the frame rate of the video, you can't really see it.
Yeah.
As much anyways, but.
I mean, it goes down really okay. Nothing.
So, same Chevy, and does it come across all the metal that's in there?
No, if you have your flashlight on it, maybe we could.
You should actually be able to turn the, yeah, see that button? Yeah. So, maybe if you can like see the debris in the filter. or in the, yeah.
Yeah, you can see there's like grit on the sidewall. You can't so much see. Well, yeah, you can get in the sheen of the glitter in there.
Okay. But yeah, so the noise seemed to get a little better after we put that oil additive in there. Not like it, it's not no magical cure or nothing like that, but seemed like it got a little better. I don't know. But then we pulled the dipstick to check well, helper here did. And there was like metal shavings on the dipstick, and then decided to cut open the oil filter. And yeah, there is some loveliness on the oil filter. But what's really disappointing is that this is a Purelator oil filter, and maybe they were good 40 years ago, but nowadays they're just chintzy garbage. It does actually say, where is it? Right there, Made in USA on it, which is rather unfortunate because this thing's a pretty raging piece of shit. And I was like trying to, and like this is just as we pulled the filter media out, and there's like a bunch of junk on the top of the filter here, and it basically looks like a piece of shit. I don't know, I don't know.
In the pleat there.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe that's just from right here.
Yeah, it might be something from the table. I don't know, but there's no massive metal chunks anywhere. It just seems to be glitter, and so I think it's a roller getting seized on the cam. But I went to go like pull the pleats apart here. Actually, there's a little bit of metal in there. But anyways, I went to go pull the pleats apart, and you can see that this one pleat actually ripped completely apart right there. And I guess we'll see if I can do this again. Yeah, look at that. It just moved to another spot here. Like, you should not be able to fucking do that, especially so easily. Like, on one hand, okay, it's a small oil filter, but nowadays it seems like Purelator is just pure fucking garbage. And two, also, maybe in an application that we don't see, maybe Purelator makes the best fucking filter out there for, I don't know, a fucking Ford Taurus or something. I don't know. But in every application that I've seen, they're absolute dog shit. And if I'm not mistaken, we've seen one come apart on a 6-liter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But,
I guess 6-liter Power Stroke to be,
well,
yeah. Specific.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this filter media, and I'm going to look at that. Are you serious?
I've never seen
look
the
at
filter
that.
do that.
Can you see that in the video?
Yeah.
Like that easily. I've never seen a filter do that either.
And it's not like this fucking thing's been, that we know of, been overheated to fuck, like beyond like a disgusting limit for.
Right. I mean, all the plastic shit's still intact. Not necessarily like this is all metal, but other plastic stuff other plastic stuff that we've seen seems to still be intact. But I guess something that I was going to say here is, I'll do it and then we'll come back with the video. But I'm just going to set this on a piece of paper, like paper towel like this, and let it drain. Some people put these in a vise and squeeze them together in a vise. I don't like the idea of doing that because, what if you shove the metal particles deeper into the pleating material and then you don't get to see them as easily. And also, too, like, it's fucking bullshit, but this thing seems like it has 0.20 oil in it just because, modern emissions horseshit. So the oil is super thin, and so the oil will drain out of here really, really quick. But I guess if you want to hit pause on that.
I was just going to ask, though, you know how there's that Beyond Meat now that's not meat?
Like tofu stuff or whatever?
Well, it's like plant-based imitation meat. So what if that metal is beyond metal?
Right? Fuck yeah.
But we'll be right back.
So, look at how much of a piece of shit this thing is. Like, on one hand, I don't want to tear it apart too much just yet, because I want to see. But yeah, anyways, this is what I like to do. Just set it on a piece of paper, like paper towel like this, and just wait. And it doesn't even take that long. But if you can, give this, a couple days to drain out. It is amazing how well.
Oh, look how much is already.
I know, that much already.
Yeah.
But if you can give this a couple days to drain out, it really, like, not to sound like a jackass, but it makes the metal pop on the oil on the filter media, just because it like dries out the filter media really well. But yeah, I guess that's what you get with modern bullshit. And it's probably like some cheap rot gut oil too. But on top of that, it's also 020 and a junk fucking filter.
Yeah, their last service was from a Quick Lane lube place in town somewhere. And don't know when they got their oil change last, but the next service due sticker was going to be in about 700 miles. So I don't know what interval they're running, but
in like, this is a fucking gasoline engine. Holy shit, look at that. Just in that little bit of time, you can already see the glitter. But this is a gasoline engine, and it damn near looks like diesel oil.
Yep.
So, yeah. Let that drain for a while, come back. So we're about 12 hours later on this oil filter. And it sucks because it doesn't come across on video very well. But you can kind of see. It's easier to see in person, but there's most definitely some metal in here. Kind of surprising to me, though, that there's not actually more in the filter media here. Because looking in the oil pan, like the oil pan that we drained it into, looks like somebody dumped a fucking bottle of glitter in it. But sounds like the customer is gonna source an engine, and we might put an engine in it. We'll see. And hopefully, we're gonna be doing the maintenance on it from now on, and using factory parts and everything, and better oil and what have you. And we're also gonna get some filter magnets to put on their equipment to not necessarily prevent a failure in the future, but with the filter magnets you can at least trap it in the oil filter and limit the damage, so that it doesn't circulate through the engine. And then also it makes it a lot easier. You can cut open the oil filter during a service and inspect it for kibbles and bits in the oil filter. So here's the oil pouring out of the pan. Oh, I just wish there was a better way that I could film this. But yeah, looks like somebody dumped glitter in the fucking thing. And it's really fucked up too, because this engine only has 40,000 miles on it. And granted, it is a fleet vehicle, so it doesn't have the easiest life. But at the same time, it's in stock application. It doesn't have some big stupid supercharger on it. I mean, don't get me wrong, superchargers are awesome, but they're obviously hard on shit. It's just a, bone stock fleet vehicle with 40,000 miles on it and a fucked up engine. And it just seems to be that this is more and more common nowadays. Manufacturers and what have you, the EPA and all this crap, they want to get the absolute best fuel economy at all expense. And so, if they use some really super thin oil, like the 020 bullshit that was in this thing, then, you know, it takes less power, takes, you know, less parasitic loss to run the oil pump. And so you get, you know, a fraction of a percent better fuel economy, but, you know, fraction of a percent better fuel economy in the name of, you know, saving fuel and emissions, and we think we're saving the planet and everything, and then in 40,000 miles you trash a fucking engine and, you know, got to go through the engine and, you know, either repair it or replace it or whatever. And, well, what about all the emissions spent on that? What about, you know, getting the fucking thing towed? What about, it just is stupid. So, yeah, we'll see where we go from here. But I guess if anybody's got any insight on this, you know, is this, you know, a common failure on these engines? You know, is somebody else seeing a lot of lubrication related failures with this 020 oil? Shit, I was in the parts store the other day. They had some new oil. It said it was for, I don't know, VW or some crap like that. I think it was like a 016 oil or some crap like that. It's like, damn, at that point you might as well just pour water in the fucking thing and, you know, cross your fingers and hope for the best, I guess. But, you know, I mean, hell, engines, you know, even gas engines, you know, it used to be that you could get 300,000 miles out of a Chevy gas engine if you know, took care of it and wasn't a dick to it and everything. And I guess nowadays, you know, you're lucky if you get 100,000.